In the last few lectures, we learned about different ways in which we can handle event in JavaScript. We talked about inline event handlers, we talked about event handler properties, and we also talked about add event listener method. Now in this lecture, let's try to understand when we should use one approach over the other. So what I want is, if we go to this EMI calculator tab, there we have this form. And in this form, the user can enter the principal amount, the loan duration, and the interest rate to calculate the monthly EMI. Okay, so what we want is when this calculate EMI button is clicked, we want to calculate the monthly EMI based on the details entered in these fields. Okay, and for that, we are going to listen to click event on this calculate EMI button, and whenever this button is clicked, we are going to execute a method which will calculate the EMI. And to do that, I have already created a function. So let me copy this function from here. And let me go ahead and let me create this function here. Okay, now what we are doing here, we are reading the value entered in each of these fields. So I'm creating three variables: principal, duration, and rate. Okay, and using this get element by id method, we are reading the value of each of these input fields. So let's go to index.html, and here we have the section for calculate EMI, and in there we have three input elements. We have this first input element where we can enter the principal amount. So for that, the id is amount. Okay, for the second input element, the id is duration, and for the third input element, the id is ROI, which stands for rate of interest. So using these IDs, we are going to access these input elements. Okay. And from these input elements, we are going to read the value which the user has entered in these input fields. For that, on that input element, so this document.getElement by ID, so this expression, it is going to return us the input element, and to read the value from that input element on this object, we are using this value property, which is going to return us the value entered in this input field. In the same way, this expression here, it is going to return us the value entered in this duration input field. And this expression here, it is going to return us the value entered in this interest rate input field. Now, the interest rate will be yearly. So what we are doing is we are converting it to monthly interest rate. For that, we are dividing the yearly interest rate by 100 to convert it to decimal, and then we are multiplying it by 12. Then here we have the formula for calculating the EMI. Now I'm not going to go into the details of how this formula is going to work. You can simply check this formula. I will share this method with you in the description. Then here we are also calculating the total payable amount after interest. For that, we are simply multiplying EMI, the monthly EMI, with the total duration. And I'm using this toFixed method. Now what this toFixed method does is, if you have some digits after the decimal in the numeric value, using this toFixed method, you can specify how many digits you want after the decimal point. Here, I only want 2 digits after the decimal point. So for that, on the value, I'm using toFixed method, and there I'm specifying 2. This simply means that in the numeric value which we are going to receive, there, if there is any decimal point, then after the decimal point, I only want 2 digits. And finally, after calculating the EMI and payable amount, we are displaying it in the alert window. So we are displaying the monthly EMI and the total payable amount. So this calculate EMI function is the one which we want to call whenever this calculate EMI button is clicked. So for that, what we need to do is, first we need to access this calculate EMI button from JavaScript code. For that, I'm going to use document.querySelector. Okay, now in order to access this button element, let's go to index.html. So we have that button element here, and on this button element, we have a class calculate EMI. I'm going to copy this class name, and using this class name, I'm going to access this button. So for that, we are going to pass that class name to this query selector method, and here I will use dot because we want to access the HTML element using its class name. And on this, I'm going to call add event listener. Now to this add event listener, we will pass the event name which we want to listen for. Here we want to listen for click event. on this button. So this button will be returned by this expression here. This expression will return this button as an object in the DOM. On that, we will have this add event listener method. So let me move it to the next line. And this will also work here. JavaScript will not insert an implicit semicolon here in this case, because in this case, JavaScript is smart enough to understand that we are trying to call this add event listener method on this expression. So since we have moved it to the next line, still it is going to work. JavaScript will not insert an implicit semicolon here. Okay, so to this add event listener, first we are passing the event name which we want to listen for. And after that, we are going to pass a function which will be executed whenever the click event will happen on that button. And for the function, I'm simply going to pass this calculate EMI. And again, while passing this function, we should not call it like this, because this function will be called by this add event listener method. Okay, so that's why we are not calling it here. We are simply passing the name. And whenever this add event listener function will execute, when this method will execute, from within this method, this calculate EMI function will be called. Now, one more thing which I want to mention here is I have written this calculate EMI function outside because this function we might want to reuse somewhere else. For example, let's say a user is applying for loan. So when he has applied for loan, we might want to show him the total monthly EMI which he will have to pay and also the total payable amount after the duration. So this function we might want to reuse. That's why here I'm not creating an anonymous function and passing it as the callback function for add event listener method. All right. Now with this, let's save the changes and let's see if this functionality works. Let me enter an amount, maybe 200,000. Let's enter a duration of 60 months and rate of interest 10.4. Let me click on this calculate EMI button and you will see nothing has happened. It is not showing this alert window. If I open developer console, you will see that here we have an error and it says cannot read property of null. Reading add event listener at line number 98. So at this line, we are trying to call this add event listener method on this expression. And we are expecting that this expression will return us this object, right? But for some reason, it is returning null. And on that null, we are calling this add event listener method. Now, why this expression is returning us null? Because we have a button element in the HTML document with this class name, right? That's because when this page, this HTML page will be loaded in the browser, with that, the script which we have attached to it, so to this index.html, we have attached this script.js file. So once the web page is loaded in the browser, the JavaScript code inside this script.js file will be executed. Now in the script.js file, what will happen? First, these two codes will be executed. Okay. Then we are reading the main section area. We are storing it in this variable. We are reading the homepage section, EMI calculator page and apply loan page section. And we are storing it in these variables. We are creating this rendered selected section function. And then we are calling this function. So when we are calling this function will be called. And what we are doing, the first thing inside this function, the first thing which we are doing is we are setting the main section area to empty string. That means from the DOM, all these sections will be removed. Okay, we have 3 sections in the HTML page. All those 3 sections will be removed from this main div, from this div. Okay, and after that, it is going to load the home page. So it is going to load the home page section because that's what we are passing here when we are calling this function. That means the EMI calculator section and the apply for loan section is no more there in the DOM. And that also means that this button which we are trying to access here, this button, it is present inside the calculate EMI section. So this button will also not be there in this section, since this section is currently not available. So when we initially load the page, it is only going to display the home section. All right. So this EMI calculator section is not there in the DOM, and this apply for loan section is also not there in the DOM. And that's why when we are trying to access this calculate EMI button, which is present in calculate EMI section here, since this section itself is not there in the DOM, that means this button will also not be there in the DOM. And that's why we have this error at this line. Now what we can do is, so let me cut it from here. The calculate EMI section and apply for loan section will be removed once this function is called, right? So before calling this function, if I try to add event listener, and now if I save the changes, we will not have that error, because what we have done is before those sections will get removed from the DOM, and that will happen when this function will be called. We are calling it from here. So before we are calling this function, before that only, we are adding an event listener on this button element by reading it. And after that, when this function will be called, these two sections will be removed. So that's why at this line, we don't have the error, because at this line, when we are trying to add an event listener on this button element, till that time, that button element was present in the DOM. It is only at this line, when this function gets called, that time only that section will be removed from the DOM. And that's why we are not seeing that error anymore. But is it going to fix that error? Let me also do one thing. Let me put this calculate EMI function in the beginning so that we will not have to move up and down. Okay, now we have created this function using function declaration syntax. That means we can use this function before it is declared. That's what we have learned about function declaration syntax, right? But still, I'm going to create it first and then I'm going to use it. So if we save the changes, we do not have any error. Let's go to EMI calculator section. Let me move it below and let's enter some amount. Again, let's say 200,000 and enter a duration 60 months, and let's say interest rate is 10.4. Let me click on this calculate EMI button and you will see still nothing is happening. Now why is that? We don't have any error, but we are not also seeing any alert message here. Why is that? That's because when this index.html file was loaded in the browser, for each element, it created an object in the DOM, right? After that, what we are doing is we are removing this section and this section from the DOM. So these sections are removed. That means all the elements within these sections are removed from the DOM. There is no more object for those elements present in the DOM. And later, when I am going to this EMI calculator section, again, we are inserting that EMI calculator section in the DOM. So again, new objects will be created in the DOM for each element in this section. Okay, the new objects will be created. The old objects are already gone. The new objects will be created for each element in this section. But we added this event listener on the old object, which is removed from the DOM. We have not added this event listener on the new objects which has been added in the DOM. And that's why we don't have any error. But it is also not working. So the point here, what I want to make is we should not use add event listener method for handling DOM events when we are working with dynamically generated content. Here, the home section, the EMI calculator section, and this apply for loan section, we are generating it dynamically, right? If I go to elements tab, let me move it a little bit up. Here we have the main content area. Okay, and then we have the main section area. Currently you will see we are in apply for loan page. So we have only this one section. We are not seeing other two sections. If I go to this home page, you will see that section, it gets changed. Everything else is same, but the section has changed. So here this content has been generated dynamically when we are moving from one tab to another tab, right? If I go to EMI calculator, again you will see that the section has changed. So here the content is getting generated dynamically. So if you want to handle an event on a dynamically generated DOM object, using add event listener is not the better option, because as you saw, this button, this calculate EMI button, it is getting generated dynamically whenever this EMI calculator section is rendered. On that, when we are adding this add event listener method, it is not working. So here, this approach is not going to work. Add event listener is not suitable for dynamically generated DOM elements. Now let's try event handler properties. So here, instead of add event listener method, what I'm going to do is on this object, so this object, it should return us this button element. On that, we will have on click property. To that, I'm going to assign this calculate EMI, this function. And again, we are not going to call this function because this function will be called every time this button will be clicked. Let me remove this code from here. Let's save the changes. Okay, let's see if we have any error. We don't have any error. Let's go to calculate EMI section. Let's enter some amount. Let's enter a duration and let's enter interest rate. And let's click on this calculate EMI button. Still nothing is happening. And the reason is same. Initially, when this object is created, it was present in the DOM, and on that we access this on click property, and to that we assign this method. But later, this button, it is getting removed from the DOM. So when I load the page for the first time, at that time that button will be there. So on that we added the on click property, and to that we assign this EMI calculator. But later when this function will be called, that section, and within that section, this calculate EMI button, it will be removed. And when we go to EMI calculator tab, at that time that section and hence this button will be created again. But this time in the DOM, the objects which will be created for these elements, it will be different from the previous object. And we have assigned this calculate EMI function to this on click property on the previous object and not on the new object which has been created. So for the dynamically generated content using the event handler property, this is also not a good approach. Then what will be the better approach? The better approach will be to use inline event handling. So what I'm going to do is on this button element, I am going to bind click event. So for that, we can say on click, and to that I am going to assign this calculate EMI function. And I'm also going to call that function from there. So now every time a new object will be created for this button, on that object we will already have this on click attribute which will be assigned with this calculate EMI function. So no matter how many times an object gets created for this button element, on each of those objects we will have this on click property assigned with calculate EMI method. Okay, so now if I save the changes, let's go to our script.js file. There I have already commented the code. Let's save the changes. And now let's go to EMI calculator. We don't have any error. Let's enter some amount. Let's enter a duration 60 months and interest rate 10.4. Let me click on this calculate EMI, and now you see it is showing us the alert window with the EMI detail as well as total payable amount. Okay, so when you want to handle events on a dynamically generated content, then the best approach will be to use inline event handlers. But for static contents, we can always use event handler properties or add event listener method. Okay, so this is what I wanted to cover in this lecture. I wanted to make you fully understand when to use which approach for event handling, because sometimes the event handling with dynamically generated content can be very confusing and it can lead to a lot of bugs in your application. So this is all from this lecture. If you have any questions, then feel free to ask it. Thank you for listening and have a great day.